Hello guys, welcome back. We are back again with another live VOD review, and this time we are going to be covering over the CS Twitter community's known Brazilian Jeffrey Epstein. Tweez. So yeah, we're going to be doing a VOD review of him. He's Brazilian, he's got a Kiyosuke profile picture, and definitely some questionable posts that's got everyone raising their eyebrows. I approve this message. He is literally confirmed. He is literally agreeing to be called Brazilian Jeffrey Epstein. I was on the island. Duck was on the island, apparently. Okay, man. Whatever, man. Whatever. Brazilian Jeffrey Epstein. What type of fucking content are we going to be recording? Let me explain a few things. One, 80% of the time it shows I'm double zoomed in. I'm actually not double zoomed in. Double glitches because I hold mouse 2 when I scope for stability. 2, exit lag was acting up, so I had 15% packet loss for most of this match. And 3, it was 2 a.m. Okay, well, you know what? I'm locked in at, like, late matches, so that shit don't mean anything. That shit don't mean anything at all. Tweez is a Premier comp Andy. I actually unlocked Premier that match. Okay, so actually not, scratch that. Has never played Premier, only plays comp. This is a comp Andy. Brazilian comp Andy. Yeah, this was a bad game for me. That's why I'm sending this one. Okay, that's good. 220 hours. He has 220 hours and he just unlocked Premier. 150 in 4 fun servers. I don't even know what a 4 fun server is, but I assume that's like a regional thing. Okay, nice kill. Missed the shots. I respect going for that fight though. Okay. Oh, okay, those are clean shots, I will say. You see how inconsistent I am. Honestly, like, that fight isn't too bad. It's just, like, connecting those shots, though. Like, I think the third one. But honestly, like, the fact that you got those 2 was, like, really clean. You played really well with pace, honestly. You played well with pace, and you, like, you didn't really, like, leave it too much for question. Like, you get across that angle. Oh, clean fight right there. Okay. And just kind of locking in. It's like, it's a little bit rough because it's a headshot angle fight, but yeah. How's Brazilian Diddy playing better than me? Brazilian Diddy is playing better than Duck, bro. Honestly, better than some randoms that got in comp. Yeah, no, that was honestly like a really clean fight. Okay, these are clean, like, turns. I'm like looking at this. I wonder if it's like super high or if it's just like really clean though. Oh, just like a rough fight right there. You do kind of take your time on that spray, and you do know that they're on pistols, so you're not really worried. They're not even really fighting you too. I think you, like, right here, you mentally prepare yourself for the fight. Like, you don't immediately peek out, right? Like, you hear those gunshots, but you take your moment to, like, assess, like, okay, how do I want to peek for this, right? You peek close, you see the guy in the far angle, and you start spraying at him. You end up getting the guy on chair first, though. Maybe you could have just had a little bit of a cleaner spray. It's just M4, though. Honestly, not bad of a fight, but you could have definitely cleaned it up. I think you were kind of moving a little bit too much. You kind of, like, wide swung into it and then try to, like, peek close off of into it. And then, but there are already, like, 2 people posted on there. So it's kind of just, like, there's just kind of like a rough fight to take. Like, it's like you already lost the timing. You were behind because you just got your gun, basically. Like, you jiggle it, you actually hear their shots, right? And I understand, like, you want to take that fight because you think it's one person that's mid because he shoots at the angle. It was a good bait from you right there. But, like, as soon as, like, you see these 2 people, you kind of have to just, like, immediately get, like, the shots off at the start. It kind of already looks like you're aiming down for the spray in the first place. You seem to be a little bit more of a spray-based player. So I don't necessarily think it's, like, this is a good fight for you to take because, like, you're going to have to commit to the spray and then transfer over to the second person right here. You already know that there's 2 on that spot, and then you just kind of crouch in to try to commit to that kill, but you can't get anything, basically. I definitely have any more spray-based because I definitely have more spray-based because I play Mars 6 and has no other line I can. Yeah. I get that completely. You do get the tag, and I do see the scoping issue. It's very odd, but obviously, I think it's just like you were holding like such a wide angle at the same time though with the scout, so it's kind of like you didn't really set yourself up in a prime position. Basically, you're on a scout, you get the tag, but because you're out in the open, you just get easily punished, basically. And this guy seems to be a little bit more locked in, so he just gets you on the kill with the rifle. I mean, kind of just like work with the guns, kind of also like at the same time, like the previous round when you had that AK. And you were fighting him in window with the with the AK essentially, right? It wasn't the best fight because I think with the A1S, you definitely could have taken a much cleaner fight, honestly. But also at the same time though, you're on an AK basically. So it just makes it harder to spray, right? If you have like the A1S, you definitely could much more confidently take down that fight basically because it's just a cleaner spray, less recoil, the spread is not so wide. So you would have probably gotten that fight if you had an A1S right there. But you are kind of relying heavily on trying to get the spray transfer on like a fight, taking two people crouched down out in the open on mid, and you're not able to really isolate those fights essentially. So yeah. Oh, you see that guy? Oh, you just kind of missed it though. Nice. Okay, cool. Cool. I would say like going for that second fight isn't too bad. The second fight right there was not bad. It's just kind of like losing out to the gun, and he kind of just had like the better, wider angle on you, right? Like I don't blame you for trying to go for the second fight right there though. And you're playing on a deagle too. Less to lose and more to gain from trying to go for those fights essentially. So yeah. R6 is just straight down recoil, so that plays into the pulling down too. So yeah, for sure. I think with like CS, it like, you know, you definitely should like kind of get comfortable with sprays, honestly. I know a lot of people are under the mantra that you should like be really like solid at tapping guns and whatnot, but at the same time though, like people tend to neglect like how reliable like spray can be essentially. Like once you kind of practice spraying, it just like you could really like set yourself up for some nice multi kills and some like good fights basically, where it's like I feel like with tapping you're like more focused on trying to perfect your crosshair onto that person basically. With spraying, it's less brain power towards like having to readjust your crosshair and more about like how many bullets should I be dumping to try to get this person, and like, you know, how long should I be trying to go for this essentially. So yeah. Do you think aim trainers would help? I'm horrible at tracking since stage 5 is super quick. I too am also really shit at tracking. I tend to trail behind, honestly. I think if you were to try to get better at tracking, I would probably recommend playing aim trainers, right? However, honestly, you do not need to track at the same time though. Realistically, in my opinion, you do not need to track. If you are decent at the game, and you are able to set yourself up in aim fights and duels that suits your game style, then you should try to build around that, in my personal opinion. Like, there are things that you can improve on. If there's a certain style that works for you that's netting you kills, then you should try to set yourself up in better situations where you can, like, produce results with that. That's just my personal opinion, though. It's very subjective. I think, like, people at higher elos will beg to differ, honestly. Set yourself up with what you know works for you. Oh, I think I saw this clip, right? I think I saw this one. It does not even look like your scope did. Okay, got the nade too. Okay, nice. That was clean. Yeah, the scoping thing is so weird. It looks like you might be cheating, bro. Brazilian Epstein is good at counterstrike. That's it. That's the thumbnail. That was clean. That was a clean ass flick right there. I would just say 10 out of 10 Optimus round. Yeah, very clean. I think just like the mega confidence on those fights too, which is like really good. Using workshop apps would probably be more helpful than using something like, yeah, honestly, like if you probably want to readjust yourself more to CS specific stuff, you could probably just do like workshop maps. Like workshop maps never hurt to use. I think like aim labs, if you're trying to like spread out your personal experience over multiple games, but like honestly, like with CS, I think like from my personal experience, like I've played Kovacs, but not like religiously. Like I've used it from time to time. Honestly, playing CS is just like a better way for me to aim train than it is to play Kovacs, essentially. Just because Kovacs is so much more different from playing CS. Like you get yourself more comfortable with the guns, you get used to how they work, their strengths, their weaknesses, right? And then that really allows you to be more comfortable and, you know, using the weapons essentially. So yeah, Tweety seems to generally know what he's doing. He's holding that angle clean. Kind of going on these jiggle peaks. That's like, I think that's pretty solid for opping, right? You're just like trying to spot it out. There's a crazy re-peek right there. I think at that point you're kind of going for the ego fight right here, but like their orange is actually pretty clean on his fights too, so he just kind of like knew you're gonna kind of re-peek out, so he just got you on that one. Oh, you hear the burn. You hear the burn, but like you kind of just like re-peek yourself out into the open right there, and the opera just like just sitting. I don't even know what he's watching. He's probably watching Connector or something, but you kind of just like re-peek out into the open and just like get yourself punished, which honestly is not that. You kind of just like, if anything, you want to play that a little bit safer. Like you get the info, but there's no way, realistically, there's no way for you to challenge underpass when you're in window. So like it's kind of just like you kind of peeked out for no reason essentially. Oh, kind of lost timing on that. Ooh. Okay, hit the cat jump. Holding nothing though. Okay, that in that case, that was good. That the tapping kind of worked right there. You kind of did the issue that I tend to do, which is kind of just like you get the kill and then try to like nade to set yourself up for another kill, basically. Because of how long that fight initially took, right? You kind of just like lost the timing right there. Which this is happening in a matter of like milliseconds essentially, where you kind of think that like, okay, I can set myself up for a second one basically, but you've already lost the timing because you took so long on that fight. Like I get why you're throwing the util, and why you think you'd like take that fight, but it's just like you lost the timing just because you took too long on that fight essentially. So yeah, well, lost timing on that window. Crouch right again. This is so nauseating. Holy shit. I think you kind of just peeked a little bit too wide, honestly. All your teammates kind of died first, and that gave them enough time to basically focus up on killing you when you peeked window. So yeah, you peek out wide, this guy's holding you bottom mid, and then there's also the guy peeking you from top cat. You're like exposed this wide essentially to the like this angle right here, this anywhere around the smoke essentially, top mid too. So you're just like super exposed. Okay, I like that. You challenged with that nade. Okay, you got info too. Ooh. I think what you could have done there is definitely, I mean, this is very situational, right? This is literally just one round, but I think you probably could have employed more of that, like, you know, swing out, bait the shots, and then like peek back closer into the wall, or peek like closer to get that kill essentially. You kind of just like swung out wide and try to commit to the kill, and then that just like you just were unable to connect it. He just got better bullets on you basically. So I mean, you probably could have baited him out. If anything, you could have baited out that engagement. I get the eagerness to go for the AK. Like you kind of like, yeah, like right there, he knows you're in the corner. He sees you peek out, but then you slowed down, so he knows you're kind of like gonna be right here. So then he just readjusts his crosshair just like a little bit, enough for it to be on you basically. Your swing is kind of curved, so it's going to be slower basically. It's not like complete. If you just like went in a straight direction, you probably would have thrown him off even more, like a Zentara's peak essentially. You kind of like slow down in your swing out basically, so he's able to readjust and get you on that one. Whew. Nearly got caught on that. If anything, you probably could have played like a little bit more of like a smarter fight, if anything. You kind of limit your ones, basically. I think the thing what I've noticed so far, you're going for a lot of these ones, essentially. You're going for these 1v1 fights, but you are taking like a lot of these like open fight angles, basically, where you're just open to so many angles. So like, obviously that guy literally just swung out the smoke, right? He's just going to punish you. CT's open as well. If there's one guy CT, he would be getting you too. Like, I think if you want to get the stair guy, you could have just like played a little bit more back towards ramp or so. And then that way, if this guy swings out of the smoke, then he's less likely to immediately get you, basically, because that angle, you could basically still see top stairs from like top of ramp essentially. And you still have more cover. Just kind of being like a little bit more cautious with your peaks, where you're not like immediately like so wide where you're gonna get easily punished. If you want to have like higher impact into the rounds, it's just more so you gotta like kind of keep yourself alive and maintain your life essentially, where you can set yourself up for success. He's loud as shit. Oh, you see his head too. I mean, you didn't necessarily see him cross over, but you're blind as shit right here. Probably could have gotten that guy from arches at the very least. A lot of your decision making so far are like things that I would do personally that I tend to get caught off myself, right? So like I'm reviewing this from the perspective of like, this is something that I would fucking do myself essentially, right? I think right there though, you kind of just like you're trying to find space so that way you can set yourself up for a kill, and it's just rough basically. But I mean, you are in the 5 or 4v2 basically, and you're on a deagle, so more to gain, less to lose. I like the pre-aim that you had right here. You're holding for the stairs cross, and then you happen to see that guy just run over towards like sandwich. crazy ass like tap, honestly. Like, you have very clean movement. You have very clean movement, honestly. Oh, you see that guy on top of stairs though. You're kind of shooting for that guy, but at the same time, like, you are like aware that stairs is open, right? And that's why you like flick and readjust. I think what you needed to do, you're already like on default basically, right? So it's just like, if anything, I would already expect there for the stairs guy to be peeking basically. So it's kind of just like, okay, I'm in this position. Where should I be expecting them to peek me from? If I want to keep on going for those sprays, I'd be holding closer to stairs, because that way, if the stairs guy does try to peek out, right, he's got to peek out wider on top of the stairs basically to get you, and then your teammates should be able to punish him. But you're kind of like out in default, so you should immediately kind of already be focused like, oh, they're going to peek me top stairs. You're less likely to be randomed by a guy spraying through jungle, essentially. Take your time. You kind of know he's going to peek stairs, so you could just like hold that kill, essentially. I mean, honestly, like, I think your gameplay decision making hasn't been like too bad. It's just more so just like prioritizing your gunfights and like setting yourself up for like better ones. Oh, that guy fell asleep at his monitor right there. Shoot that guy's CT. That's good. You immediately readjust. How do you get flanked? Oh, jungle? Oh, you're just super tunnel visioned. This is so annoying. Oh, ooh, you tag him too. Oh, wow. You don't even get that kill. That's crazy. I don't even know what to say here, honestly. He just got a better shot. You could have probably just like positioned yourself better so that way you guaranteed get the kill, right? And it's not just like a leg damage on the op instead. That's like my only thing. You probably should have gotten that kill though. I mean, why is he jumping? I think he has a feeling. He knows that your window, right? I don't think he necessarily knows that you have the op, but he knows that you might have it. Unless his teammate called it that you have the op, which is possible. I think that's very possible that they saw you pick up the op, essentially, right? He just took the risk, right? He just took the risk, and he just happened to land a better shot on you, essentially. Ooh. Nice, good. Alright, good position on your crosshair right there. If anything, people should like probably be taking notes, because like you do have like a very solid aiming style, I think. Like, it's very, very snappy. This is like similar to like some of like the higher elo players that I play with, basically. Oh, but you kind of just like, I think you kind of just like tunnel vision right here. Actually, no, I think sometimes there have been situations, I think, like throughout this game, there are like some times where you're like super tunnel visioned on like certain fights basically, and because of that you kind of just like lose attention as to where other people could be. Like, obviously with the op situation, right, there's the guy right behind you in jungle. Like, that's always something that you should kind of be like cautious about, especially if you like make your presence known in mid, or you're from taking window, essentially. Also like the mid fights too, where you're like super tunnel visioned on someone like being top mid, but not like the idea that someone could be bottom mid, essentially. So kind of, yeah, just like be more aware essentially of that. You have really good macro, you just need to expand it though, so that way you just are much more aware of like what's going on around you, basically. Once you kind of get used to the fact of like radar, you become such a much more well-rounded and better player. Oh, he tries to jiggle it. He's on an MP5, a shit weapon. Oh, you see that guy con too, and you're ready for that fight too. Oh, you actually spot that guy. Nice. I like how you're not afraid to take these fights like immediately one after another. Like, I can already see you are mentally prepared for each fight that you're taking. Like, okay, I just picked the guy in ladder, I'm ready to swing off of cat and fight this guy con. Like, I can already kind of see it on your, like, in your brain, basically. That's fair. I mean, you were trying to go for the M4 guy, and then this guy with the deagle was out wide faster, basically, so you know, you couldn't get both. That was doable. Like, you could definitely get both kills, but like, that's more in the literal macro of like, oh, I should have stopped a little bit like back so I can get this guy first and then get the second guy and swing on him afterwards. Like, I don't think that's really much of a problem. That's not really much of a problem game, honestly. Okay, let's say this. The B rush. Oh, missed the flash. Just like a rough fight right there. I want to say I should have just mollied Van. Debatable, because I think by the pace that you were going, you probably would have mollied the Van, but he would have been there, peaked, and still gotten you, basically. So I don't think there wouldn't have been much different from the outcome of what happened. If you probably didn't miss that flash, it probably actually would have changed quite a bit, honestly, because he would have been scared. I will be honest. I think he probably would have been fucked by that flash if you had hit it properly. The van fight is like so rough at times. Yeah, you probably could have threw it higher. So. Oh, but you do have time to throw out that flash. Honestly, if you were throwing like this util, if you were throwing the util and it's supposed to hit out of apps, right? I think that's honestly like the perfect pace for you to just jump out of the window, basically, right? Because also, if you just jump out the window, then if this guy is Van, right? This guy is gonna be like, he's gonna watch you jump out of the window, and then he's gonna be like, oh shit, like I need to get this guy who just jumped out of sight, basically. But then also your teammates are coming out through apps too, so then it's like he's gonna lose track and focus of you. And I mean, hopefully you probably would have spotted him, or you would have like read that he was Van or something, basically. And then yeah, I just think that your util. I think you probably could have just used your util. Like, you had util perfectly set up for you jumping out, and you just did not, like, take advantage of that, where you just could have just jumped out a window, and that would have set you up in a better position, and gunfight, that I think would have worked for you, so yeah. Surely, this is an alt account, no? Or do you just, like, learn lineups? Like, you already said you have, like, quite a lot of hours, like, I'm assuming playing, like, custom queues, essentially. But, like, just to go through the effort of, like, all these lineups and whatnot, like, is this an alt account? I watched CS content since 2016 R6 was my making game. But I mean, like, your lineups are like extremely solid though. Just like your awareness to throw lineups, I'd say at the very least. Because I feel like you're very like cerebral basically in terms of like your approaches to like engagements and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know. You seem like super. You're super aware that you could just like throw this util and just chill. I think I'm just surprised that you don't have a face. I'm just surprised you don't have a Faceit account, and I'm surprised that you just got Premiere from this game as well. Like, you seem to be someone who has played for a long ass time. That's why. And I get playing like on custom servers and whatnot. So maybe it's just like it's just a regional thing, perhaps. Yeah, you definitely look like you've been playing the game for a while, or at very least, just like you just seem very knowledgeable. That's why. Right there, honestly, just like that's just unlucky. The guy just literally swings out a fucking default and just like happens to find you throwing util. I'm caught in those like situations sometimes. It's rough because if someone's on default, they will just like peek with like, the most random confidence at times. Knowing that they can get a kill for some reason. I mean, this guy literally got traded right after too, so it's just bullshit. So yeah, like, look, I know people who have been playing longer, who have more hours than you, right? By all means, they grind Premiere and whatnot, or they just like grind competitive, Faceit, whatever, right? But you actually, honestly, like, honest to God, you look like someone that could technically be playing in like level 10 elo. I mean, it's hard to gauge off of like how everyone else is necessarily playing in this fucking comp lobby, mind you. But like, you seem to have like, you know, a lot of like a pretty good understanding. I think the only thing you're probably lacking is just like you just kind of tunnel vision too easily, and you just need to build a little bit better like map awareness. But like map awareness with your like understanding like your kind of the radar and whatnot. But yeah, I think that's all I have to really say about it, basically. So what up, Greg? I would like to see a game where there's higher stakes necessarily, where people are kind of playing more and not just like, it is comp, right? It is ultimately just comp that you're playing, so people are just doing whatever. But like the people you are playing with are good, but they just do not care, right? Play something a little bit more with stakes, like Prem or Faceit, basically. And I'd love to watch one of your demos from there, because then that's kind of like where people are like a little bit more subconsciously worried about like how they're playing, basically. And there's more on the line for them. Yeah, I think I'd like to see it. I'll send you one once I do it. Yeah, I'd like a follow-up. I'd definitely like a follow-up, because it's good. This is like really good. This is really good gameplay, right? And realistically, like, there's not really much for me to say outside of like maybe the tunnel visioning and the radar stuff, right? Like, for me, this looks like a demo that I could have been playing myself, honestly. Like, this looks like one of my own demos where like, oh, like I think to myself like, oh, I'd make that same choice. I'd make that same decision. I'd fuck up the same way, basically. Like, these are all the same exact things. I'm not the same as fucking Brazilian Epstein per se, but I will be saying Brazilian Epstein plays like me, so. And like, truth be told, like some of my decision making at times can be stupid as shit. But like, Definitely, there's a thought process, and I am understanding. I can see your thought process basically. Like I can see how you're playing, and I'm like, oh, that's something I would do because you're trying to do this basically. I completely understand it. Oh, you guys have A site? Oh my god, you guys have pulled. You're playing a 4v5 rotate basically. Oh, free kill, free kill. Nice one. You know that guy's market too. Oh, this guy's just punishing now from cat. Oh, this guy made it into window though. Oh, and you just get punished here, don't you? Oh. Oh, you get two. That guy just hits crazy timing and he makes no noise. Your teammates just kind of play like a terrible piss plan, but yeah. Honestly, yeah, solid round from you. Yeah, I will say you dropped 23 kills. 23 kills, you did die quite a bit, but like I would say for the most part, like you have generally gone positive, and like there are quite a few eco deaths, but those are eco rounds. We don't really ignore them. I wouldn't say there are many dumb deaths per se. There are some things that you could have definitely improved on, but there aren't really any dumb deaths per se. Maybe if anything, it's like, oh, don't get caught out with your util and whatnot, which tends to happen. I will admit that it happens to me all the time. But yeah, just like not being caught out with your util basically. Increase your awareness radar basically in terms of like what's going on around the rest of the map. And then also just like stop tunnel visioning. Don't tunnel vision so much, because there are just like so many other possibilities, like a bajillion other angles you can get peeked from, or just like just like setting yourself up in positions where you improve your one-on-ones basically, your 1v1 fights basically, because you do really good in those 1v1 fights once you set yourself up in those. So I think you just need to improve on that ever so better, and you'll be good. You're solid basically. So yeah. If you took a Mirage Prem game from me, I would probably have a lot more kills. My last Mirage comp game was like 29 kills. Well, that's comp though. You just said it. That was comp though. But I think Duck, regardless of like map comfortability though, I think there are just like some certain choices. I mean, would that have changed the fact that you weren't buying a smoke on Ancient whatsoever if you were on Mirage? Because I feel like even if you don't know the map, you should at least be buying a smoke where it's like, okay, this is a choke point. I should be smoking this off. Like that's just my thought process, at least. For me, it's easy to pick up on choke points and how a map will play out because I have a background in like CS2 map making, or like in map making in general, basically. I used to do like CSGO map making. For me, it's easy to really pick up on like new maps, like, oh, I need to smoke off this, I need to molly this, I'll meet people here. This is where I can get my best advantage, basically, right? Like, it's very easy for me to pick up on stuff like that. So like, even if I am completely uncomfortable with a map, I would still buy a smoke, basically. Like, I don't know. I think, like, even if you're uncomfortable with that, buy a smoke. Buy a smoke, use it, you know, perfectly fine. Like, yeah, Duck, you are a much better level 1 player. Than Nico's ego, right? You're better than Nico's ego, I will say that. You don't really set yourself up in a way that plays better, or you're constantly losing to these other level 1s, basically. I think thought process is kind of just like the big thing that comes to me. Like, when it comes to like really analyzing gameplay, I learned this when I started playing Collegiate. One of my IGLs had like a lot of ESEA experience, and there was only so much that he could really expect of us to have like really good aim and whatnot. And if anything, he was more so like, you know, if you lose an aim fight, that's just like, it just comes down to aim. But honestly, you should be setting yourself up in positions where you just have a smarter thought process into how you kind of come out on top, basically. And so I think that has kind of like really shaped my thought process in terms of like how I analyze and approach things, basically. Is like, don't really think too much about the aim. Like, you can think about it at times. Like, if you really are trying to improve on that, right, think about like how you can set yourself up so that way your aim works better.